Ever since I can remember, it gives me a sense of gratification to take something in pieces and put it back on the road. I pursued my passion and built a company that specializes in concourse level restorations. After all these years, I've perfected the process of building cars without breaking the bank. My name is Shant Meshefedjian, and this is CMS Motorsports and Restoration. So the car that we're working on today, our project car, is a 1993 Mustang Cobra. The Foxbody chassis Mustang started from '79 and ended in '93. The car was made by SVT. This was the special vehicle team formulated by Ford. 5,100 of these Cobra examples were built to basically make the Foxbody go out with a bang after its 15-year run. 4,993 of them were street versions, and they made 107 examples labeled the Cobra R. The engine was still fed by their traditional 5-liter V8 pushrod motor, except it had the GT40 upper and lower intakes, GT40 heads, it had a different size throttle body, and it had a tuned exhaust, which gave this 235 horsepower and 280 foot-pounds of torque. Based on Road and Track's testing back in 1993, this car did a standing quarter mile in 14.3 seconds at 98 miles per hour, which was completely astonishing for the year and time. There were 4,784 finished in vibrant red, 1,854 finished in black, and 1,355 in teal metallic. So they were only offered in these three colors. Now what's specific to the actual vibrant red is there was two versions of the color made. One of them that came in a 2-stage base coat clear coat, and one of them which was a single stage red, which is absolutely rare. This particular car has the 2-stage. It's a base coat clear coat model. There is some areas on the car that I did notice, such as clear coat delamination. There's some rust that's occurring underneath the spoiler. However, before we get into a full-blown paint job, we want to see what we can preserve versus what we can repaint and blend in the repair. Now this car in particular, I am the third owner on. The car was originally ordered and sold in Los Angeles. It was a local Culver City car. The last year it was registered was 2014, so it was definitely parked for a while. Now the car does run and drive. The previous owner of the vehicle did many upgrades to the car. You can see that there's many differences from the original state. One thing I did do before I made the final purchase was to actually pull the certificate on the car, authenticating it to be an original Cobra vehicle. There are different kits that you can purchase aftermarket to make a regular GT or LX look like a Cobra, but to really find out, you have to crunch the VIN numbers and you have to make sure that it's an original specimen from Ford. As you can see, this car obviously hasn't been washed. It's got literally an inch of dust all over it. In regards to what's on the hood, it looks like it's some kind of oil, which definitely needs to be cleaned up. The body seems pretty straight. It does have minor dents that needs to be popped out. We are prepared to paint each and every panel that needs assistance, but the goal right now is to try to save as much as we can and preserve its originality. Let's see what we have here. So what we have to work with here is Ford's version of a 5-liter V8. Now, the Cobra per se had minor differences from the regular LX or GT. It did have a GT40 upper and lower intake setup, along with GT40 heads and specialty valves. However, this one in particular has some minor upgrades that are done to it. They've put in an MSD digital box. They've eliminated the fan with an electric fan setup. It does have a different air filter, so this one does have a little bit more pep than an original one would. They also went with the headers and a full Bassani exhaust system. It also looks like they've installed some camber caster plates for the suspension. What makes this fascia Cobra specific is the cutout on the grille. These were only available on the Cobra models. However, the front bumper was a standard GT bumper where they inlaid this grille. This bumper in particular looks like it had some kind of an incident in the past. The local bumper shop might not be able to repair this. However, we do need to source a replacement GT bumper and modify the cutout for the grille. So what also makes this Cobra specific as far as the front fascia is this area of the bumper here. The standard GT came with an air inlet. These Cobras did not. So this is another telltale sign that this is a Cobra vehicle. Most of the damage on this car is basically on the passenger side. Now, there is minor differences in color when it comes to plastic panels versus metal panels, but this one in particular is oxidized pretty bad. Because of the cracked bumper and the discoloration between panels, the front bumper most definitely is going to have to be painted. In 1993, having 17-inch wheels on a vehicle was a big deal. Now this one in particular does have the 18-inch Cobra R wheels. I believe these are replica wheels. They're not the originals, which we are going to replace. They've put cross-drilled rotors, which definitely show stress cracks. We need to check the bearings. We need to check the lower control arm bushings. I'm sure all the brake lines are dry rotted. So there's a series of things that we need to checklist before the car goes on the road. I do see that there's some paint chips here, possibly due from something flying and hitting the quarter panel, or most likely these happens from snow chains. Being that it's a 5-speed car, if it snagged the snow chain and it hit the quarter panel, that's where you endure these types of scratches. Moving on to the deck lid of the car, this does come equipped with the Cobra specific spoiler, which is completely different than the GT. As you can see, there's some rust that's evolving underneath the spoiler, and being that this is a Los Angeles, California car, I can almost guarantee it didn't endure any type of harsh weather. However, water and moisture does get trapped underneath these spoilers, which cause this rust to take place. So this would definitely have to be addressed, which is going to also result into repainting the deck lid. Focusing on the roof, such as areas like this here, which are completely peeling over time, the clear coat delaminates from the base coat, which causes this to occur. What a common thing is on these Foxbody Mustangs is all the rubber products, the weather strips, and all the plastics drying up and shriveling. Once the car is painted, once it's preserved and polished, all these things will stick out like a sore thumb, so they definitely need to be addressed. Focusing on the interior, the main difference between the Cobra Specific, the GT, and the LX was merely a set of floor mats, which we are very fortunate to have the original Cobra floor mats that came in the car. Just looking at the interior, there's a few things that are missing, such as the stereo. There's some minor panels that need to be rebuttoned up. The door pockets on the door cards are loose. The car does have a show throat shifter. The seats, however, are not original, which would need to be replaced. It's virtually impossible to find an original set of black leather Cobra seats, so we are going to outsource some aftermarket ones that are period correct. However, the interior needs very minor attention to bring it back up. The headliner's intact, all of the sun visors are in working order, the dash does not have a single crack or abrasion on it. So the interior is actually the best portion of the vehicle at this point. There is going to be some minor upholstery work that needs to be done by a professional, but they do have bolt-on kits which you can install yourself. Growing up, I've always done all types of restorations. I've been around automotive all my life. The Mustang in general is something that I hold very dear to my heart, being that it was the first car that I ever bought on my own. It was a 1986 Mustang GT 5.0 5-speed car, which I drove through high school. I absolutely loved that car. I took care of it, washed it, cleaned it, did many upgrades. From that point on, I've always had a Mustang in my life. Currently, amongst the other cars that I own, I have 5 Foxbody Mustangs in my stable. One of them would be an 85 5.0 4-ride GT car. Secondly, I have an 88 Saleen hardtop, an 89 convertible Saleen, a 1990 Dominator JBA widebody, and last but not least, this 1993 Cobra Mustang, which I'm super excited to restore and put back on the road. My older brother did purchase a brand new 1993 Cobra finished in black over gray leather interior. The minute I sat in the Cobra, it took me all the way back to the first time when I sat in that car. I remember the day when he picked me up. I was in 9th grade in middle school, and as I was walking out, I noticed this shiny black Mustang parked right in the front with my brother honking and waving out of it. The minute I laid eyes on that car, I forever became a Mustang fan. I could not imagine something this perfect. The color, the wheels, the exhaust note, it was absolutely phenomenal. On the way home, I remember just listening to that exhaust note as my brother was ripping through the gears. I was in total heaven. Just for me to reminisce, this is going to be a very dear and special project to me. So now that we've overviewed the car, basically gave it the initial inspection, the next step is to get this Fox into detail, and we'll see how she cleans up.
My name is Victor and I own the towing company. I've been working with Sean for more than 10 years. This is a beautiful car, a nice project.
So we're taking the Cobra over to IM Detail in Costa Mesa for the paint correction, and Victor's gonna be the one towing it. He does nothing but amazing service. He's there on time, he delivers on time. He's truly the one that I trust for any type of transport. Next time on CMS Motorsports and Restorations. We're over here in Costa Mesa right now at IM Detailing. This is Jacob, my boy, that pretty much specializes in all types of preservation and restoration on paintwork.
This car was very challenging for us. Hopefully he will like it.
Wow.
All right.
What's up, brother? How are you, man?
Good, good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. This thing looks phenomenal, man. What did you do to this thing?